Welcome. Welcome to season 2, episode 4, featuring Panama, aka 4017, and I'm your host, Japiro. Welcome to Penthouse Talk. While we're moving the culture forward, while embracing others and encouraging them to do the same. You know what I'm saying? I welcome my man. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We did it. Lost Chapters 2.
Yep.
Dropped August 6th, which was yesterday, a Saturday, August 7th. And I wanted to bring, my best friend, you know what I'm saying? We've been rocking out with each other since 1995. It's been a long road, but it's always been a pleasure, you know what I'm saying? We're more like brothers than anything.
Yep.
So I want everybody to sit back, sit tight, enjoy this, and we're gonna try to make sure we got the audio real loud and right for y'all. We in a new location, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, let's get it done, man.
All right, let's get it done. So, first and foremost, welcoming you to the show, and
this is the second season.
Yeah, this is the second season. So I've been trying to get you on here for
I should have been the first guest.
The first guest, yeah. But what I started to do, I was thinking about branching off and doing different podcasts, but for different people. So I feel like I wanted to have a rolling guest. So I feel like, you can come on whenever you want, you know what I'm saying? And it's good to have a co-host that appreciate good music, you know what I'm saying? I know the way with our friends, we beef and argue over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, about who the best MCs and all of that kind of stuff. So I feel like I didn't want my podcast to be specifically about rap. I didn't want it to be about relationships solely. I didn't want it to be about entertainment or politics. I just feel like we cover everything that we do with music. We cover everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you here today. And I just thought it would be cool if we kind of jump into what took us so long to be able to put a project out together.
What, you talking about this new one?
This new one. So with Lost Chapters 2, I look at it as, the last time me and you really physically worked on a project together would have been any group stuff as far as M.E.P goes, you know what I mean? We went through a lot between 2007 up to now, but we always been a unit. We always been clicking, you know what I'm saying? Even the distance didn't really change anything. It just, we was in different places doing different things. So I know.
That's the brotherhood of it all. That we was friends more than. We was rap partners and homies, but we was friends more than we were in a group. So when life started to happen, we was just able to transition into more of a friendship role, more so than just rapping together. So it was an easy transition. Well, I guess for some.
Yeah. It wasn't, yeah. Sometimes it felt like it was easy, but yeah, it definitely wasn't.
And life started to happen around that time where everybody started focusing on life. I know for myself, between 2007 and now, I was pretty much just getting my life together, because since the age of 10, I've been focused on music and just rapping and making music. So I never had my life together. It was just that. That's all I knew. So I had to pretty much get out there and explore the world as far as life goes without music for a while. And then after I found myself and found my wife and got married, it was her really who was like, you need to get back into it. You need to start doing your thing again. That's who you are as a person. Music is who you are. Yeah. And now that you have me backing you up, you can be who you want to be again. So that's pretty much how all the music stuff started coming back. And then around 2017, 2018, you hit me up like, we need to link up and do something again.
Yeah, definitely was 2018. I just got to a place where I felt like I got tired of. I always try to incorporate, shout out to my man Quintel. When I put out Conspiracy, might have been I think it was 2011 when I put Conspiracy out. And he, you know, that was the one album I produced all myself pretty much. I have like three other beats, but I did the other 9 or 10. And you know, shout out to Heist. And I had another like producer I had found online, DJ Burn one. That was the other producer that I was working with when I put Conspiracy out. But he was like, you know, I felt like Quintel was like, you could put out albums, but you don't have to do all of the production on it. Take some more time and focus and write. And so, you know, Conspiracy kind of put me in a place where I still was trying to figure out who I was. As far as everything I always did was with you and Zeke. Or I always did it with Rashawn, Stars, Herbie, you know what I'm saying, with my other homeboys I grew up with, you know what I'm saying, and everything was always trying to fit with how I am or how I feel about stuff into make it work into a unit, you know. And I never got the chance from the time I started rapping. As soon as I started rapping, I was in the group. As soon as I wanted to get out the group, or not even want to get out the group, the group ended. I ended up with another group. Me and you kicked that off. And then as time went on, Zeke came. And then it was like we wasn't going nowhere. Like nobody didn't want to separate. And so the hardest part for me was separating. Because I had to learn how to separate the music part from the business part. The business part from my personal life. And what happened is all of them all began to intertwine. And it literally took from 2007 to 2017 to figure out that life can exist with all 3 of them happening. It's just that the balance of it is hard because we so tight as friends and brothers, you know what I mean? It was a thing. But, you know, I welcome it. I appreciate it because it taught me and teaches me to not indulge into certain things when it comes to music or in life, you know what I'm saying? Things that can alter my music career or my, you know, certain things, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? All of that just to basically say when 2017 came, I know Zeke tried to pull us back in and get us back together. You know what I mean? He worked hard on that part. But for me, it was still hard trying to balance and figure out where we were. And I know you started making beats again. And it was like, I felt like you made one of the best records on Free Lunch. That was in 2016. And then I felt like, you know, you wanted to get back rapping and doing more lyrically. But every time I wanted to make a remix to something or do it, I just didn't get that spark. Like, not even for you, for me. It was never working. It wasn't happening because it wasn't organic. It wasn't me and you sitting down making a song together. So it's like, all right, I ain't trying to force you to do what I do. And then it's like, you don't want to force me to let you on the song, so I'll just let you record them. And then just kind of like, all right, cool. I know we brothers. We just gonna work it out. It's gonna come.
No, we still had some heat that was tucked in.
I got it. I mean, it's somewhere. It's on one of these hard drives, but that's what it is. So 20. Fast forward the end of 2017, we started making beats and doing stuff together. But I still think it was 2018 where it really started to come together. 2018 is when it started coming together, and I got this urge. I don't even know what it was. I think we was getting ready to go to DR in December, and I wanted y'all to go. You know what I'm saying? I wanted everybody to be with me or whatever when we go to DR. And because the first time I went, it was just me and Shayla. You know what I'm saying? It's just me and wife going to DR. And so certain experiences, I get better writing when I do stuff. So when I go on trips, I'm definitely going to be able to come up with better stuff as I see the world. So I had this idea, and my favorite group arguably is Outkast. You know what I'm saying? Block's probably my favorite as far as 3-man group because they represent what we did, you know, lyrical stuff. But Outkast was a group that kind of influenced me to start writing how I write because it's worldly and it they never was in a box. They always were able to do everything. So one of the first beats or samples that you started working with was the Get Out and Get Something beat.
That was the second sample.
That was the second. So Maybe Still Care was the first.
The first one was what ended up to being 8 Million Ways.
All right, so this is what we gonna do. So now that we into the podcast, for everybody that's listening, we thought that the album was gonna organically work by producing each song and doing them in order. But in all actuality, I think I worked the songs in alphabetical order. So the album is technically in alphabetical order, give or take 2 or 3 songs.
Okay.
I rotated songs out for other projects or to move them in a different place. So yes. So the first song was 8 Million, and one of my friends, you know, she liked Tribe Called Quest a lot. So I was like, damn, I never had that album. So when I went back, I was just riding. I was on 83 and I'm listening to Tribe Called Quest, and I heard 8 Million Stories, Fife, and he had just died. So when I heard, I said, "Oh, well, let me do some studying," because I know Fife Dog, but we was like 10 when he was popping, so I wasn't really in the Tribe Called Quest. I was listening to Snoop. I probably shouldn't have been listening to Snoop and Dr. Dre, but
definitely
I should have been listening to Fife. But
should have been listening to Fife Dog.
But
instead
of Snoop Dogg. But yeah, Fife Dog instead of Snoop Dogg. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Shout out my man Brandon. He was the first person I knew that had Death Row Records, and it corrupted me since, and I've been rapping ever since 1990.
Snoop shouldn't have been listening to Snoop.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So yeah, so 8 Million. So we arrived at 8 Million. So
that was on Midnight Marauders, right?
Yeah, Midnight Marauders. I always say Midnight Marauders is one of the best albums of all time because it changed the way like rap was when it came to like low end theory, and then Midnight Marauders was kind of like when they peaked. Yeah, they started taking off, and I also like Midnight Marauders because the story of how Jay-Z, the kick and the snare come on Oh My God remix come from that album. And every drum and snare on that album are what hip hop to me remind me of when I watched Rap City when I was a kid. That's what I remember those years, 93, 94. Like those years. So yeah, so how did we even arrive to 8 million? Like did 8 million come out the way you thought it was gonna come out?
Came out better than what I thought it was gonna come out. When you hit me and say I want to use that sample, I mean, me and my brother, we had that album, the Midnight Marauders album, but like you said, I was listening to Snoop Dogg.
Shouldn't have been listening to that.
Shouldn't have been listening to Fife Dog, but so I didn't really remember the song. 8
Million Stories.
8 Million Stories. I didn't really remember the song. I remember the sample when I heard it because I pulled it up on YouTube and heard it.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, cool. So I Shazammed it. The
sample.
The sample.
Yeah.
And it pulled up who it was. So I jacked it off of YouTube, and I was like, I can flip it the same way, or I can do how I know best how to make beats.
Add your own flavor to it.
Add my own flavor to it. So I sat down with it, and I was like, I'm gonna do what Wyclef did to Killing Me Softly.
Okay.
So the drums from the beat is actually from Staying Alive, Wyclef song.
Right. It took me a while, but as I was mixing the song and doing the scoring with the sounds and all the extra stuff that I added to it, I learned that it was, but I knew it was, but it didn't hit me until like the day before I submitted the album for streaming, and I just heard the and I just like all this time. I'm like, yo, I'm really rapping over this Wyclef record, but it's so hard of like the content that I'm talking about, and I had to still like figure out like I didn't want to make it too hard. Like with these stories, like I keep building the story, so I'm gonna have to go to therapy for the way that the stories be coming off. Like
it was gangster story.
Yeah, but I felt like this story, you know, the first story I did was a real story. So you know, somebody really shot at us while we was out. So that's, you know, that story is real. And so with the statute of limitations, I didn't even realize like when I made it, it was kind of, you know what I'm saying, it was rough making it because it's real. And then, you know, people, you know, we could like not me personally, but 2 or 3 of my friends could have been gone off of that song. So I take stories serious when I be making them joints. So I think because once I knew I could make that one, I wasn't gonna let that beat go. I know the time you put into it. So when I made that joint, I felt like that was gonna solidify because I know for you gonna pull all of the concept records out of me. So I hadn't been doing a lot of concept records that get deep like that in a while, so I made Alone. Alone is probably the best story that I made so far, but I don't know, 8 million might be right there with it. I don't know.
I mean, the way you took the chorus and put the pitched sound of your vocals in the back to make it sound like it was like a little creepy dude saying it.
Yeah, that I added that. That was literally, that's why my album ain't come out on time, because I did that shit. Yeah, I made the little shit like it's not as bad as the Hate Me Now shit, but it was close. I tried to get it as close as I can, because I just feel like when you hear a story, it always sounds better to hear somebody talking on the phone, like wilding out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So 8 million, that's what that 8 million, that's, I felt like, and every time I heard a Snoop album, 6 million ways to die, choose one. And I was like, nah, like it's 2021, there gotta be way more ways to die than that. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going 8 million.
It's definitely 8 million now.
Plus 8 million because it was another, I had a skit called 8 million, so it stuck with me. Okay. So, you know.
Yeah, that was how I came up with the beat. I mean, you gave me the beat.
Yeah, I just gave you the sample, that's it. But I thought you was going to use the actual song. I thought you was going to use the song or filter it or something.
I filtered the bass line from it. I filtered out the bass line from
that's my favorite sample. Part of the beat.
And I filtered that out, and then I played keys over top of it. I played my own keys over top of it. And then after I was listening to the sample, I heard a part that was way down inside the song where a guitar started playing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, this ain't in the Tribe song.
So I can put that into my joint.
I'm gonna put this in my joint. This gonna just solidify that this would be my beat instead of a Tribe jack. I mean, if you heard the Tribe song, you know where the bass line came from. Yeah.
Yeah, because even where the snares are, his beat is more snare. It's about the snare, the crack, that. I mean, that's like through the whole song. So yeah.
Yeah, that's all. And then so with the clef drums, I added some more drums to the clef drums. I mean, I did just jack while clef.
Just not a 4-bar loop.
Yeah, I put more snares into it.
And it's a snare at the end of the loop. They come back around. Well, not a snare, but it's like a sample or something that loops it, help loop it back around.
Yeah, so that piece it together that way. And then when I sent it back to you, you was like, "Yo, this is heat right here." So you was like, "Yo, what else you got?" And that was really how it started for the album. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you was thinking of making a whole project together at first.
I wasn't.
But when I sent that back, you was like, "Yo, what else you got?"
I don't even think I wasn't even in writing mode at that point. So that was the first song. And I didn't even have nothing. I didn't even write nothing yet. Remember? Yeah. I didn't even write anything. So I think that was like I don't even know what happened. I had it and I didn't even think I was like, yo, that song gonna be towards the end of the album. I ain't like not even towards the end. That song was like way down the line. So I didn't even think about it. So I guess the next thing I remember was the next thing I do remember, it was the Outkast shit, like the Outkast joint. And I remember I walked into your house and you had, I came in and it just kept on doing and I'm like, yo, this is hard. Like, this is Get Up, Get Out. And this is when I really like start rapping. It's like 94. So everything about that sample reminds me of everything like in music. Like everything in music that I live for, like the way a sample sound, the drums rolling like that. And you just kept on doing the part where the drums roll around when they go and then the beat come around when the hook say get up and get out, like on that part. And I was like, yo, we making an album. Like that day I was at your house, I already knew it. I was like, we making an album. I was like, I'm gonna just push myself. And this is like November of 18.
That was still like September.
September?
That was still like September.
September, yeah, 18. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that was like September.
And I mean, that song didn't even make the album. Y'all gonna hear that later.
Yeah. Yeah, that song is. I'm a. For everybody that's watching the podcast, that song is for another project, and when I tell you the project that it's for, it belongs there. It just don't belong with this. Not that it's a bad song. It's the fact that it's that good that I gotta hold it for something else. And I wrote that song like 3 times.
But when you said you wanted to make the project, you said you want to make the project off the 8 Million Ways. You was like, yo, I got a concept for an album off of ATL.
Yeah, that's true.
So when he told me his idea for the project of ATL, like all these ideas started coming in my mind. I was like, the main part of ATL that I remember always saying is when they was picking up the trash and get up and get out, get something come on.
Oh, and yeah.
So that's what drove me to the beat of get up and get out, get something.
I don't even know why. Like I never even told you about that.
What?
I never told you to use that?
No, you ain't tell me. You told me the concept of ATL.
When I walked in the house and you was playing it, I was like, yo, like.
So I went straight to that part. My idea was when I was going to jack different ideas from the movie and make beats.
Make beats based upon that, yeah.
Based upon the movie, kind of, sort of. And then, like how we did the Sam Cooke.
Yeah. The Sam Cooke project. That's the Sam Cooke joint.
We just jacked all the songs of Sam Cooke's.
And then we just made them into our own songs, yeah. Because when we were making not even when we were making the album, when I came to your house and I heard the Get Up, Get Out play, I had album mode in my mind, but I was like, yo, it's the end of the year. I don't really make albums before Christmas, and when I do make them before Christmas, like, I literally make them in like a 2-week period. We was in September, so I'm like, oh yeah, I got time to write and then possibly kick it out. And I knew we was going to DR, so I know I was going to lose 1 week in December, so I knew that wasn't going to work. But I knew if I worked up until my birthday, we would have been fine. But then that song itself, that was when I started writing, and getting back to writing. My hooks and stuff are way different now, and I do things way different than maybe what you was used to me doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a different rapper now. Like, I'm not really. I don't think I rap as much. Like, I don't think I rap as much. Meaning, I don't think I put all of my eggs into rapping. I care about the scope of the song. The scope of the song. So when I was writing it, and every time I was making a hook, and you was like, the first hook I came up with, you was like, it's all right. And I was like, shit hard, man. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I ain't pushing myself hard enough, or maybe it's not what he need to hear. So then I was like, all right, come back, we make another hook. So I already told Gutter, I was like, yo, I need you to get on it because I need a contrasting voice for this song. I ain't want to tell you get on it because I need you to keep making beats. So I was like, all right, come back. I was like, all right, I got the other hook. Come back with the new hook. So now it's the second hook. And you like, it's cool, but I feel like you got something else. So I'm like, all right, man, I ain't making after this song right here. When I make these hooks, all these hooks gonna be the ones for every fucking song. So after I come back, I was like, I waited like 2-3 days. Then one morning, I had strep throat. I was pissed. It was like Thanksgiving morning. I had strep throat, and then all I kept hearing is the beat coming, and it was like, now you got problems. Oh, now you got problems. What? Oh yeah, and try to put the heat on you. Then can't and money. I just had it in my mind. I had the melody, but I couldn't figure out. I was just trying to say everything about when like 6ix9ine got locked up, but he did so much dumb shit that happened. I was trying to incorporate it in the hook because he had so many problems, and with this album I felt like the same way the little brother James was going through the problem. So I was like, oh my God, like I got it. And then Power was popping at that time, so I'm like, damn, this what Ghost going through. So I'm like, this a triple entendre. So in the hook, it's all of that shit going. So now you got problems, bam. Song number 2 done. Song number 2 was done.
And since we was in the ATL mode,
yep.
And then you was like, That was about when they was in high school. I mean, T.I. was old as shit, but it was like that's when they was in high school. That was like their last year of high school or something like that.
And it reminded us of being in high school.
It reminded us of being in high school about 1999. So
I already had 1999. I had a version of that shit.
You already had that version of that song. So when you said something about 1999, the first thing I thought about when we was in high school was at the time. I mean, even though I didn't like it, No Limit was popping.
Wait, 99?
Yeah, 99. No Limit was popping. 98, 99.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make a No Limit sounding beat, and that's how Still Can't came out. Because they used to have the bass line used to be like ding 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 ding, like this, Just to Be Straight With Me.
Yeah, so I really wanted to rap over Just Be Straight With Me.
Yeah.
I really wanted to rap over that because every time I went to Northwood Shopping Center to buy album or CD, I used to buy vinyl from Northwood Shopping Center, and my pops used to know one of the guys that owned it or whatever, or they used to work there. My father knew him. So when I used to go in there, he'd be like, yo, what you need today? And I used to be like, go in the store and get Wu-Tang Forever. I go in the store and get Life After Death. Go in the store and get Mobb Deep. Go in the store and get Foxy Brown. And then I started buying pieces of vinyl. And one day, every day, I would catch the bus over there. And I don't even know, I might have been driving at this point too. So I would drive my mom's car during the summertime. And I would scroll back. And it always had that Silk the Shocker record with the Just Be Straight With Me. But I thought the record was so hard because my mom, it's like when Friday night when your parents get paid and they would play like records in the house.
Yeah.
And it was, I had Just Be Straight With Me. And I just kept on hearing it so much when I was a kid. The woo,
Just Be Good.
I'm like, Just Be Good to Me record. And then his was Just Be Straight With Me. And so then I said, yo, I'm going to listen to the SOS band, like the greatest hits. So I'm in my car listening to SOS band. I'm listening to some shit that somebody like 50 or 60 would be listening to. And then I just kept hearing Still Care. But then in my mind, I remember the breakup scene with Nunu and Rashad. And I've been in that situation before, like straight up. Like I've been in that kind of situation where I think the way that I projected the song